Hey internets, it's Jake from Any Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls, the Candlekeep Mysteries. And once again, I've screwed up the opening title sequence. This is actually Book 6, The Price of Beauty, Chapter 56, Temple of the Restful Lily. If you're watching live, now you know what the title actually is. If you're watching on VOD, I will have already fixed it. And hopefully I'll get it right so I don't keep doing this every week. But as Cari brought up, out of 60 some episodes, it's only the third time I've screwed up the title sequence. So we'll call that a win.
Percentage that I can't do right now.
So, because Gary will let me know if I don't take care of it, if you look up above M's head, you will see a domain tome magically appear. Domain tomes are, of course, a way that you can influence the game, as was shown in the opening, the pre-stream info and during the break. But I also want to draw attention because if you look up above those, the limited edition DM tomes, I've only got 3. I used 2 of them a couple weeks ago, so I'm running low. The only way I can get those is if you, the viewer, tip $20, I think it is. It's in the thing. And only having 3 means I can't do a counterspell. So but I still have a couple things I can do with 1 and 3. So but anyway, most of our announcements are in those pregame and break cards. However, I want to draw attention to something that's happening tomorrow and Wednesday, because it involves myself and Gary and Dwight, actually. Tune in tomorrow night and Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern to Fortnerd.com on Twitch for the 5th and 6th final episodes of Dreadful Tales. Wow. After all this time, some 6 months or something like that, we've been playing this game. It all ends this week with the dual finales. Tomorrow night, Strike will be DMing a crew that includes Dwight, and Wednesday night, I will be DMing the final group that includes Gary. And it's been really cool to be a part of that. So you'll have to tune in and see how that's gonna go down this week. The other thing that is happening this weekend, I won't be on stream per se, but I will be behind the scenes working with the National MS Society to produce their TTRPG fundraiser event that they are doing. You'll have to check my retweets because I don't remember the Twitch channel off the top of my head right now. But I'm excited to be helping them out, and it'll be a good time raising money for the MS Society. I'm trying to talk while also trying to fix these tomes for you guys. And I need to just do one thing at a time. I think that puts us back where we're supposed to be. We were at 20, no, we should be at 22. And if I mathed wrong, these guys won't tell me because they get an extra tome.
I can add.
you just can't do.
I just can't do percentages right now. I'm doing my best.
No, it's fair. You're off the clock as a math teacher. You can stop mathing except for where the dice numbers are concerned. All right, well, that's enough of those announcements. The only other thing that we want to tell you is just to remind you that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference. Whether or not you believe it, it's true. We say it every week. We say it before every game, and that's because we always mean it to be true. It's okay to not be okay. Sometimes you struggle. Everybody struggles. But you don't have to do so alone. If you find yourself in if you find yourself struggling in any way, you can simply type !help in our chat, as Gary has just done, and a couple links, findahelpline.com as well as takethis.org's resource channel is showing up there. So be sure to bookmark those, visit those links, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save it for a friend, and remember, you matter. Also need to get some graphics up here and some more links, because MTD is actually officially a part of Team Sprocket, working with Game to Grow, and we'll have some information probably by next week. We'll have some information up here on what all that means, who Game to Grow is. We've worked with them for charity stuff. Wonderful mental health organization, but also if you are a streamer, we'll have some information where you can get in touch to how you can also join Team Sprocket and help support this information, or this cause. So with that, I think it's time to play some Dungeons and Dragons. All right, most recently, you all have been enjoying the rather crowded spaces at Candlekeep Library. There was a convocation taking place that happens every few years, where scholars from all around the realm come to various libraries, and it just happened that this year they were at Candlekeep. Of course, it led to you being ousted from your regular rooms, and you wound up having a rather eventful stay in the Firefly Cellar, where you dealt with a demon hiding within a children's nursery rhyme book. But you dealt with that, and everybody kind of headed out and took up some of their own research and dealings, including Togo, who gave some counseling to Cthulhu the Tabaxi, who was having a bit of a PTSD situation following the events of the Firefly Cellar. Doc, who had, as always, a pleasant interaction with the shop owner through which he places all of his orders. And Teera wound up wandering in search of some research and stumbled into a clockwork aviary, meeting a delightful little owlin scholar by the name of Professor Adberth Swiftbeak, who took Teera on a ride in a clockwork bloodhawk. Eventually, Teera did find her way in to do the research she was looking for. But Teera, you were approached by the Avowed and your acquaintance by the name of Irony, the teenaged tiefling, who occasionally acts as a go-between with completely, her name just went out of my head. Telesavaste. I tried to reverse those in my head, and that's where I got confused. Irene approached you, wondering if you had seen Little One, which they said that they are occasionally allowed into the inner ward under escort, and that the escort was also missing, as well as Little One. Little One had taken up something of an interest in some self-help books, which Irene thought was kind of unusual because little one had never really shown that kind of an interest. But also the dwarven avowed by the name of Falthrax has also gone missing, the one who was escorting little one. The book that little one had been looking at was brought to you, and the book, after you were looking at it for a moment, the mirror on the cover of the book, a beautiful elven woman appeared in the mirror and said to you in a soft voice, "Well met, dearest one. How do you feel today?" We are going to pick up just a little bit later on this same day. And this book is sitting on the table. We see this book sort of close up. The book is bound in a soft green leather. It's about 8 inches wide and 14 inches tall. It's set with golden clasps. As you've brought this book into this study hall within one of the rooms in the library, you've noticed that it seems to have just a very pleasant but unmistakable scent of lilies. Set into its cover is a polished oval mirror with a delicate gold frame, styled like locks of hair, which appear to spill down around the face of anybody who looks into the mirror. The book is filled with beautiful illustrations of woodland scenes, art, and jewelry. Delicate handwriting accompanies the illustrations in the form of short prayers and meditations dedicated to seeking self-worth, techniques for massage and healing, and recipes for creating balms and cosmetics. On the very last page of this book is an inscription by the author, Silvari Silversong, which reads, "A mirror is a gateway to happiness, truth, and to accepting ourselves." Standing in this room is all of you. Your entire party is there, as well as the avowed Irony and the great reader Telesavoste. How and Teera, you have basically just told them how you came into the possession of this book, as well as Irony sort of filling in the blanks. So let's pick up there, Teera, as you're sort of finishing up telling everybody about this.
And I'm telling you, it talked to me. It talked to me and it asked me how my day was. I hated it.
Yes, the book talked to you.
Yeah, it did.
Interesting. I have some experience with that myself.
Well, and Teera would be kind of standing back, and she'd be like, "You want it to talk to you? Then you can just look in that mirror there that's on the cover."
Do you mind if I take a look?
It's is it sitting on the table?
Yeah, it's sitting on the table or in the middle of all of you.
Like you barely have the "y" out of your mouth, and I'm already kind of like shifting into the chair, like hungrily reaching out towards it, but just kind of like this very deferential gesture as I kind of like surround my hands, kind of surround the front cover. Don't quite touch it yet. I'm just kind of like taking stock of it, but I'm gonna look it over. I'm gonna peer into the mirror on the front. Do I see anything?
For a moment, you see your own reflection staring back at you, and you are given to a little bit of this illusion of having these golden locks spilling down around your face from the frame of the mirror, but it's just the appearance. There's no magic involved in that. But as you stare into the mirror, your own reflection shimmers into a mist and is replaced by that of this beautiful elven woman, the image of the goddess Sune. Well met, dearest one. How do you feel today?
Grumpy as usual. And how are you?
It is sad to hear that all is not well with you, dearest one.
Oh, I didn't say that. That's pretty normal for me.
Have you considered a change in your skincare regimen? Perhaps a different hairstyle, makeup, or new clothes?
Can the rest of us hear this voice, or is it just Mizya?
Oh no, you can all hear this voice.
As soon as it says anything about makeup, you hear Teera go.
As soon as it says skincare, Doc is going to shout out, "You should definitely moisturize."
Perhaps a new fitness regime.
Okay. Well, this is odd.
Okay.
Might I inquire as to who you are? My name is Mizya, by the way.
I am Sune.
Would I know who that is?
I think I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like you might have a bit better knowledge than most. Give me a history or religion check at advantage. And you can do the same Togo,
21.
since I know you have a knowledge of the gods as well.
The Lady Firehair, is that correct?
You just see this image of Sune just smile back at you, but it does not answer.
Well, it is a pleasure to meet you. I am, as I said, Mizya Helbia. These are my associates, Doc and Teera and Togo and Vaughn.
Just to clarify, I think you only said you were Mizya. I don't think you gave your last name until the second time. So, just to clarify, you don't want the book to think you're a liar.
I look back at the book. Yes, and Doc is quite literal, so please phrase any questions you pose to him very carefully.
I mean, it's not like I'm going to bite if they phrase them uncarefully or haphazardly or without consideration. I'll just mention it. Really. It's just words. So book. Book?
The book just continues to smile and sort of generally look in the direction of Mizya.
Mizya,
Yes, Doc.
why don't you ask it what the point of it is?
Yes, well, Sune, what is the point of you here in this book? On this book? With this book?
Concerning this book?
I'm looking at Togo, just like exasperated, pinching the bridge of my nose.
The book.
Yeah, Togo looks.
Oh, go ahead.
Togo has that like kind of, look where he's like smiling because he knows he has to, but he doesn't really know what's going on, but he's just happy about his pictures that he got to see. So.
As Teera is sort of giving everybody the evil eye and the exasperated sigh about how impatient she is, Doc is going to lean in and he's going to whisper in that Doc way, Excuse me, you should be a little more patient, because think about all the work I did with Vorn and his book.
Yes. I'm sorry, Doc. I will not sign.
You know I wasn't really interested in helping him with that, but he had questions, and I had answers.
It was very kind of you, Doc.
You know what I'm
Thank you.
talking about, right?
Of course. Yes, definitely.
You have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do, Doc. I swear. And I kind of like look at Togo very quickly. And then I'm just like, yes, I do. I'm sorry.
Okay, I accept your apology. It seems heartfelt, even though I'm still not sure you know what I'm talking about. But neither here nor there, as long as you apologize, ultimately that's the most important thing. Even if there's no meaning behind it, the words have meaning, and ultimately sometimes that's enough, but not always. Sometimes the meaning is very important behind an apology. I think what we need to recognize is that apologies are important, sometimes, but not always.
See what I mean?
The book, the image of Sune in the mirror, looks up at you, Mizya, and says, "Dearest one, are you getting enough rest? You look tired."
And I'm always quite tired. I'm literally old as dirt.
If rest, relaxation, or transformation is what you need, then follow the lilies, dearest one. I am sure Silvari will see to your needs. Make me a history check at advantage, Mizya.
Ooh.
It is a 25.
This is the second time you have seen or heard a reference to Silvari's Silver Song. The first in the inscription on the last page, the fact that this book is written by Silvari Silverstrong, but hearing the name spoken, it's a vaguely familiar name to you. It's one you've not heard for decades. There was a Silvari Silversong, an elven woman, at Silvery Moon when you were there. You didn't move in the same circles, but she was of the same class as Ravona Shadowheart. She was one of the nobles that would come in to do research, but where Ravona was doing scientific studies and pretty much only interested in STEM.
Don't make her sound noble. Don't tie her to STEM studies.
She is a well-learned elven woman.
Okay.
That is to be respected. Silvari was more interested in things that had to do with botanical studies, studies of nature, and things that particularly dealt with restorative and healing properties, various herbs and flora and fauna and all that sort of stuff. And not long before you left, or rather, excuse me, not long, right around the time you got there, I should say, Silvari Silversong was somebody who had suddenly left, and the rumor was that she had gone off to make her own fortune. She had left behind the wealth of her noble family, and was never seen or heard from again. By you, I should say. Not sorry. There was a way I could have worded that. That was much better. That made it sound like she disappeared without a trace. She left, and you no longer saw her. But it's a name. It's kind of like somebody you knew at high school. You knew of them. You didn't hang around with them. You knew who they were. So if you hear their name, you're like, oh yeah, kind of remember who that was. But also, as the book says this, I'm sure Silvari will see to your needs. About 10 feet away from all of you, a section of the floor begins to glow, and the scent of lilies goes stronger. And then you see this glow in a 5 foot by 7 foot glowing portal opens in the room in front of you.
Doc is going to see the portal, and he's going to look at all of his companions. He's going to look at Togo. He's going to look at Born and Mizya and Teera, and he's going to say, "Well, that looks pretty ominous. I don't think we should go in, because ultimately, I don't think any of us are in need of whatever that thing said. I'll be honest, I kind of tuned it out, so I don't know what it was offering. But obviously, a weird glowing thing on the floor seems like something we should avoid, right? I mean, maybe not avoid to the level of avoiding a child's grave, but since we've done that before, or we isn't the correct word, some of us have done that before. Maybe you don't care about that, but I do."
What if?
Yeah, Teera?
I mean, little one is gone missing. Maybe that's where he went. If he could be in there, I think we should go after him.
Any of you looking can see that where this started at the floor, it's now a standing like a doorway. It's this 5 feet wide, 7 feet high, this portal. You can see through to the other side. It's not just glowing with light. It's as if a magical doorway has just, well, it's not as if, a magical doorway has just opened in this room. And on the other side, you see a woodland trail marked by posts that are carved into the shape of lilies. You can see trees in full green canopies kind of hanging over the path. And the smell of lilies is very strong coming through. You can see blue sky and puffy white clouds on the other side as well.
I don't care much for makeup, but I am oh so tired. Perhaps this is a trail worth exploring. And perhaps this is where little one has gotten off to.
If all the rest of you decide that you want to go, I'll go too, because ultimately somebody needs to look after you all, because you don't always make the best decisions. And by don't always, I mean semi-regularly you make very poor decisions. Oftentimes the decisions are questionable. Once in a while you make decisions that are good. So I think it's best that I go too, even though I don't want to. But Togo, what do you think? Do you need whatever that book was saying it was going to do?
I don't think so. I don't think us turtles are really too concerned with all of that. Though I did know a turtle that liked to put pink and blue mushrooms on their shell, which was very lovely. But he stands up and you see he like kind of flexes in the armor. I think that this would be a great adventure, and if we save little one, that would be great as well.
Doc is going to say sigh out loud and start walking toward the gate.
Plus, it's a portal, and I have to look into portals. So the more I know about portals, he kind of stops.
Hey.
The more I can understand the Shadowfell.
But what if it's not a portal to the Shadowfell?
Well, then our problem is solved, because all of our bad decisions seem to have been about the Shadowfell, if you remember.
I mean, I wouldn't say all of them.
Well, the worst ones, at least. You know,
Definitely some of the ones in the top 5.
Yeah, the grave portals. And
while these two are arguing, Teera would nod at Togo like this, and Teera would go through the portal.
Yeah, Togo smiles and follows as well. Very excited. You see he kind of already has his he's procured like a little walking stick that he is now going through the portal.
As Mizya and Doc are walking forward, he's going to say, well, that makes sense. I think Teera was the first one in the child's grave, too.
She is a little bit impulsive, is she not?
If a little bit meant a lot, I would agree with you wholeheartedly.
It's pretty much her entire personality.
I don't think there's anything else.
Vorn,
Not much.
Vorn moves past the two of you to follow Teera and just says, I like impulsive women, and steps through the gate.
I mean,
So suck it. Sorry.
wow, Vorn. And then Doc is going to sort of shrug his shoulders and walk through.
And I will just step right behind Doc.
As you all step through the gate onto this woodland path, in the study room, Irony and Telesavaste stand there and just go, Tellus just goes, do they often just leave without saying anything like that? And behind you, the gate just goes and closes.
Amazing.
And you are now standing on a woodland path that leads through. There's trees on both sides, and you see every so often these stone pillars that are on the sides of this trail that are carved to look like lilies, and they seem to vaguely be pointing northward. What would you like to do?
Sure. I would want to look around and just be like, well, in the effort of avoiding being impulsive, I would like to go forward, but I would like to run it by the team first. Team, do we have any idea of what our next move should be?
Don't
Well-
we have to follow?
Yes, follow the lilies. And that would be, and I just gesture obviously at them.
I mean,
So-
it's not impulsive to follow instructions. In fact, I would argue that it's the opposite of impulsive. We were provided a set of instructions, and now we can follow them. It was breaching the gate that was impulsive.
I will walk up and pat Teera on the arm. I do appreciate the attempt. It is well done.
Thank you, Mizya. All right, forward it is then. Doc, will you like to lead? I kind
Okay.
of look once more at Mizya, like proud of myself.
Doc is going to walk forward, and he's going to kind of pull Togo forward with him by the arm. And he's going to say, come along, Togo. We're going to lead the way.
All right, this is great. This is my first adventure. I'm very excited.
You know, on adventures, it's said that some folks sing.
I
Oh my god.
Togo like puts a finger up and he reaches into his shell and he pulls out a small harmonica.
Oh.
Okay.
I can be the accompaniment.
Okay.
he says.
You do that, and I'll sing.
Togo nods and he starts playing.
Doc is going to start singing. Here we're on an adventure. There's all of us here today. I don't know the words of this song, but they make me happy. We are here to find little one. There's no more words to my song. It's done.
Doctor,
Dude.
Yes, Mizya?
did you just try to rhyme way with happy?
Not specifically. If you noted during my song, I said way and happy.
Right. Well, was a good attempt.
Well, it wasn't an attempt. I did it. What? And then Togo is going to be. He's going to Doc is going to pat Togo very firmly on the shell, and he's going to say, "That was excellent accompaniment, Togo. I didn't know you could play the harmonica. I didn't know turtles could play any instruments at all. I feel more educated. I feel like I know more about turtles now."
You know, up until now, I didn't know that I knew how to play the harmonica either. I actually found this from a merchant when I traded him for a small piece of gold that I found. But, you know, there's a first for everything, and I don't think I did too bad.
That was
My
your
role
first.
performance.
That was your first performance? That was my first song.
Wow. There are so many firsts for me today. First adventure, first song, first accompaniment, first harmonica. This has been one of the best days of my life.
Not first shove. Yeah, no, it's been great. Okay, I think we should continue leading the way. I think we're good friends now, because I think when somebody plays the harmonica and the other person sings a song, they become friends instantly.
Of course you have a harmonica, Cari.
Every time somebody says the word harmonica, I'm gonna blow into it. That's my
I
game.
love it.
My private game.
So the harmonica is gonna be the harmonica that goes along with all of our harmonica moments. Harmonica.
Nobody wants nobody wants what Carrie's doing right now. I think we all acknowledge it.
After
I so seldom get to use the harmonica in my desk.
For the record, you just said harmonica. And I also said harmonica. Twice.
your mic seems to be filtering most of it out.
Which is
It's
great.
okay, but just know it's happening.
Right. So it doesn't take very long for you to come around a bend into what looks to be a very ancient grove within this forest. It seems very quiet and serene here. As you've been walking along, various butterflies have been just sort of floating around. You hear bird song in the trees. And as you come around this bend, you see a grand temple that is about 150 feet across the front of it. The polished stone edifice rising up in front of you. You can just make out some distance behind it a tower of about 3 or 4 stories that seems to rise up in either attached to or behind the temple. You're unsure. And you see that this, as you walk up into this grove and you see this place, you can see a large set of wooden double doors carved with images of water lilies right into the wood. That seems to be, from this side, the only point of entrance are the double doors. As I said, it's about 150 feet across the front of this temple. But where it sits in the clearing, you can see that you can move out to the east and to the west as well. Or you can go into the doors. What would you like to do?
Togo, would you like to go through the doors?
I think that's probably the most polite thing to do.
Okay.
Maybe we should knock first?
Okay.
Togo nods and goes up to the front door and is gonna tick, 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 with his
As you reach up to knock on the doors swing inward. And you're just kind of standing there like this. As they swing open, you hear ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling as a bell rings. Beyond the doors, you see a large lobby. And an even stronger scent of lilies comes wafting in from this lobby, or rather out towards you. And in the center of the room is a desk holding neatly piled papers and a vase of fresh cut lilies. Behind the desk is a dark-haired man in very fine clothes, very light linens in pastel colors. As soon as the bell chimes and the door opens, he stands up from behind the desk as he sees you, and coming around the desk, he comes walking towards all of you, saying, "Welcome, friends, welcome to the Restful Lily. Freshen yourselves in our luxurious bathhouse, or perhaps you would enjoy a massage, a haircut, shave, or a pedicure. Oh, road-tired feet simply cry out for comfort. Whatever your pleasure, I am here to serve."
I look around at the others and I'm like, I would like a massage, please. I haven't had one in an age.
This sounds
massage.
like something where they would touch you.
Yes.
Pass.
Very hard.
Yes, touching is integral to the art of massage.
I'll have one.
Are you here just for a handful of services, or will you be staying with us for a night or two?
We have questions.
Whatever questions you have, you may leave at the door. This is a house of rest and respite. The Temple of the Restful Lily offers many services and treatments that you can make use of. It will cost you 5 gold pieces to enter, and many of our services are available, such as meals. You could get a haircut, a shave, or perhaps a waxing. Massages are simply 20 gold pieces, or a manicure or a pedicure. If you are interested in staying longer, we have a package deal. For 40 gold a night per person, you can have access to the full bathhouse and all amenities.
Doc is going to... So the doors open to this room, and this guy was sort of behind a counter, and he came out to talk to us?
Yes.
Aha, okay.
Ooh.
Approximately how far is it from the front door to where the guy's standing now?
Like 5 feet, because he's standing right
Perfect.
in front of you.
So Doc is going to look down, and he's going to nod, and he's going to walk out the door, and he's going to say, "I have a question. Have you seen an ogre?"
I have seen an ogre, or two in my day, yes.
Is there an ogre here now?
You'll pardon me for my hesitation to answer your question, as people come from far and wide to the Temple of the Restful Lily, seeking rest and respite from their busy everyday lives, and sometimes that means from prying eyes and inquiring minds.
I would like to make an insight check.
You may do so.
19.
Oops. You see that this man genuinely hesitates, and he seems to kind of glance almost just for you catch almost like a micro expression as he kind of glances to the left and right as he comes up with this response. He's whether or not he knows this specific question, this is somebody who plays their cards very close to the vest. You don't know what, but you know he's not telling you everything.
Got it.
So I do have a point to make, and that was you asked me to leave all my questions at the door. And he's going to glance down at the threshold, which he's on the other side of. You didn't put any qualifiers or limitations on those questions. You just asked me to leave them at the door. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask, Have you seen our friend Little One? He's an ogre. We're looking for him. We won't disturb him. We just want to know if he's here.
My friend, I can appreciate your desire to locate your friend. And if this ogre friend of yours is inside, I invite you to come in, partake of our services. If he is inside, then perhaps you will find him. It is not within my interest to divulge our clientele to just any individual who walks in out of the woods. You can understand my need for discretion, I hope.
You should have specified that questions weren't allowed, as opposed to telling me to leave my questions at the door.
Doc, and I would put my hand on Doc's chest, and I would just say, when the fine gentleman says leave your questions at the door, it's an expression that means you shouldn't ask too many questions. It's not polite.
Oh,
And I think-
but... Okay.
What?
Nothing.
And I think it would be fine. We can stay here. We can each partake in a service or two. I desperately need a massage. And I say to the little dude behind the desk, I say, if our friend, because he is our friend, happens to come out, you can feel free to mention to him, Little One is his name, that we are here and that we were looking for him.
He gives you a slight nod and then says, my discretion goes both ways. If somebody were to inquire about your presence here, I will be most discreet as to who and what you are doing here.
Thank you.
There's a brief interruption in the form of, to the west of this room, there's a door that goes to either side. The door to the west, so about 15 feet away from where you all are standing, opens up. And a elven woman, probably about 5.5 feet tall, with straight auburn hair, wearing similar linen robes to this man, steps through the door and into this space and closes the door behind her. But in that moment where the door is open, you hear the sounds of a scuffle taking place. And you can see for just a moment, you see a bronze-skinned elven woman with brilliant red hair fighting bare-knuckled against a bare-chested Goliath man who looks to be about 7 feet tall. And as in that moment where the door is open, you see the Goliath just punch this elven woman straight in the jaw, and you see a little bit of blood go flying, and you catch just before the door closes as she turns and goes and smiles, and then the door closes.
Vaughn, no.
And Teera's eyes kind of light up too, and I look at Vorn and I just sort of shrug.
The man looks immediately at you and says, are you interested in perhaps some physical training?
Yes. Very much.
Azursa, one of the owners of this fine establishment, likes to personally train our guests. That is who you glimpsed through the door there. She is always willing to spar with and train others in the more physical aspects of rest and relaxation. So,
and I kind of look at the others and I'm like, Well, I know what I'm doing for today.
If you would simply like access in and would like to pay a la carte, that can be arranged and we will bill you at the end. Or as I said, you are welcome to stay with us for 40 gold a night and have full access to the baths, the massages, the dinner, the sparring grounds, haircuts, whatever you desire. At a minimum, I will require a 5 gold deposit if you wish to simply partake in, or rather enter in and tour around the area.
I look at the others and I'm like, I know we're here for a little one, but it wouldn't hurt us to take some rest and relaxation, eh? What do you say we pay our 40 and stay the night, huh?
You can.
Doc, I think we should stay together.
I mean, I can go in for 5 gold. It's not like I need to sleep.
Well, Mizya, what do you think? You'll stay with me, right?
I'll go inside, but none of this sounds appealing to me.
All a bunch of fuddy-duds. Togo, tell me you're in for a little spa treatment, huh? Little rest and relaxation.
Togo takes out his little pouch that he has with him, and he ports out like 10 gold coins that he has, and he just looks at it and he's like, well, 40 seems a little steep as if I haven't started working yet.
Well, tell you what, I'll cut you a loan. No interest. I'll cover the 40 for you, and as soon as Candlekeep starts paying you proper, you pay me back. I don't want to go off by myself, Togo. And these sticks in the mud are gonna just walk around and treat it like a zoo.
You see Togo looking down at, his scuffed armor, maybe his turtle cuticles are, a little rough. He looks at them and well, it does smell real nice in here. All right.
Ha! Ha! Togo and I are gonna have a terrific day. And at this point, Teera would pull out a little pouch of gold and clunk it down on the desk. He's like, fine, sir. 80 gold for a day of everything.
Very well. And he takes the 40 gold and your name.
Teera the Sunmaid.
And he
This is my good
pulls out a
friend,
quill
the This is the Portal Turtle Togo.
Well, it's just Togo, not that first part.
Yes.
Not the first part.
And writes that down, and as he starts to write with the other hand, he just kind of slides the gold down into the drawer of the desk. If you are still undecided, it is perfectly fine. For 5 gold, you may accompany your friends, and we will simply bill you if you decide that you wish to take part in any of the amenities offered. This is not meant to be any sort of pressure. You came here by your own volition. You should feel comfortable and relaxed to make your own decisions. I will, of course, be at your disposal as needed. I am Scythe.
Doc is going to pull out 5 gold and he's going to give it to him.
And your name?
My name is Doc.
Doc. So, Doctor... Is there more to that?
If there was more to it, I would have said more. But I didn't. It's just Doc.
Just Doc. Very well.
And as he's saying that, as he's sort of taking the gold, Doc is going to lightly pat his hand and he's going to say, language is important. Specificity is key. You should be more careful about the things that you say.
I shall take that under advisement, sir.
See? Now you're getting it.
Then he looks expectantly to Mizya and Vorn, who, I'm just gonna say Vorn's gonna pay up for 5 gold initially. And Scythe writes his name down as well. And then he looks expectantly to you, Mizya.
I pull out 5 gold and I set it down, but I hold my hand over top of it. Yes, all of that fancy stuff doesn't really interest me, but do you have mimosas?
You will find, perhaps, the finest mimosas you will find anywhere in the realms, here in our lounge, among many other tasteful libations.
And that's all under the 40 gold, yes?
Yes, if you wish to stay for the night, 40 gold will, of course, give you
I'm
full
like
access.
dropping 35 more gold on the table right in front of me. And I'm like, don't tell the blonde one.
He gives you a look and he just says, "Your discretion is paramount." And he slides the additional 35 and the entire 40 into the drawer, and you only hear the sound of a single or of 5 gold coins. You don't hear the full 40 gold coins. He just, the way he moves it, you just hear, sounds like you paid 5. And your name?
Mizya.
Mizya.
My pleasure.
Very well. Well, you will find here, and he indicates a small corridor behind him where you see several curtained doorways. Beyond each of these, you will find a private changing room. There is a chest with a lock. You may place all of your clothing, your weapons, your gear inside those locked chests and keep the locks for yourselves, and you will find appropriately sized comfortable robes within. For those of you who have opted to stay with us for the evening, we will have your chest brought to your rooms. And then he motions and kind of just moves over to this hallway that leads to where behind the desk where you see these changing rooms. And then there's a set of double doors, ornate double doors at the end here as well.
Teera would go wholeheartedly into the changing rooms. This is great.
Okay. So
My blood pressure's never been lower.
normally I wouldn't ask this, but I feel that I have to ask this. Is there anybody who doesn't put on a robe?
I have a question. The Goliath that I saw fighting the ginger badass earlier, was he wearing a robe? Were they in the robes?
He was bare-chested.
Okay.
You only called it a glimpse.
What was she wearing?
She give me a perception check. See if you can
Okay.
how much you caught of that.
Because, like, is this ancient Greek gymnasium style? Like, what are we doing?
They weren't
Okay.
naked, I'll tell you that
Okay.
much.
That's what I was beating around there. 9 perception.
No, you saw enough to see that the red-haired elven woman was clothed, and the Goliath was bare-chested, and
Okay.
was probably wearing some kind of pants.
Okay. Yeah.
As you go into your changing rooms, you find not only the robes, but you find very simple. There's a couple of items to choose from. There's a simple linen pull over full length, almost like a dress, but there's also shorter linen tunics and pants as well as the robes.
So, Jake, just so I understand, everybody else here got the whatever super spa package, but Doc was still allowed to take a robe, right?
You paid 5 gold, and you are given access. That 5 gold gives you access, and you have been requested to remove your outdoor clothes and gear and change into their clothes.
Doc will pick up the robe, but he's not going to. He's gonna like wrap it around himself like a belt.
Oh my god.
Over top of all of his clothes.
Excuse me, sir. I do not wish to tell you how you should dress, but we do have... But it is a matter of policy here that outdoor clothing remains within the changing rooms, and your gear as well. We like to foster a peaceful and calming environment, and one of cleanliness.
Well, is it the same guy?
It is.
Well, I have to go back to the specificity of language. You said request.
That was a formality.
Well, unfortunately for you, that's all I heard. So I'm good with it.
If you do not wish to adhere to this policy, that is, of course, absolutely your prerogative, and I would be happy to refund you your 5 gold.
What if I put it on over my clothes?
That would be only partially adhering to our policies.
Well, since you said request, maybe we can just overlook it. You request that I put the robe on, and I put it on. See, and Doc will start putting it on.
You hear... So I imagine this discussion is taking place as Doc probably went into the changing room and came immediately out with the robe, while the rest of you are changing. These are like fitting rooms at a department store. You can hear everything. So you hear this exchange happening, and then you all hear a voice that comes from further in the room, and you hear, "Oh, come now, Scythe. Let us push aside your need to adhere to the letter of the rules and allow our guests a modicum of dignity and modesty, if they will." And Doc, you see a slender moon elf woman with very smooth black hair and almost sparkling sapphire eyes. She wears linen robes of violet as she strides forward, and Scythe immediately turns and bows towards her. "Madam Morgana, as you wish." Doc, it appears you have been granted your request.
Great.
She walks towards you and says, "I do hope Scythe is not being too severe towards you and making you feel unwelcome."
Oh no, he's fine. I had to talk to him about the specificity of language, though. Specificity of language is very important, because ultimately, creatures communicate mostly using language. And if people are unspecific and the other party doesn't know what they mean, then how can we really communicate effectively? Can we communicate at all?
Teera is like pulling on the last of her tunic and is barefoot and is coming out of this dressing room. It's like, and our friend Doc is very literal, and he has a certain way he feels about things, namely the specificity of language, right, Doc?
That's right.
It is all perfectly understandable. The last thing that we would want to visitors of the Temple of the Restful Lily is to feel, well, not restful and not relaxed. Please, enjoy your stay, and if there is anything you need, you may personally ask for myself. She holds out her hand. I am Morgana.
I elbow Doc in the ribs and like nod at her hand.
What? Why do you elbow me?
You're supposed to take the hand and kiss
Oh,
it, Doc.
and Doc will fist bump her hand.
Oh. Yes. She just sort of, Well, I do hope you will find what you are looking for here at the temple. Please. She gestures, and the double doors open up into the next area where you see that beyond these double doors, you see a floor of polished white marble that is surrounding a central pool of steaming turquoise water in a large open-air bath. Stone pillars are standing along the outside wall, sculpted with relief carvings of Sune. Between the pillars, you see these frosted windows that are sort of diffusing the light that comes in from outside, and there's mist. Or perhaps, and she indicates the eastern door in the lobby, and that door swings open. Our lounge, where we have manicures and pedicures. We also offer food and a well-stocked bar.
I'm walking into that door already.
You hear well stocked and Mizzy is gone.
She gives a look over at Teera and Vorn and in particular, and kind of gives a look to you as well, Togo. Well, perhaps you might be interested in speaking with Azursa if you are looking for exercise as a form of relaxation. And the other door, the one that had previously opened for a moment, swings open, where you hear the sounds of a scuffle. Whatever it is that you seek, I hope you find it here. You were going to say?
I would nod and I would look over at Vorn and I'm like, well, you want to come with me? You want to watch? Oh.
Vorn just raises his eyebrows and gestures forward. So, Vorn and Teera are heading towards the training ground. Mizya's going to the bar. Togo and Doc, where are you going?
Togo, go ahead. Where are we going?
Togo is going to look after Teera. It would be real, and I did want to go on an adventure, and well, this isn't exactly what I had in mind, but there's nothing like relaxing after a hard few hours of exercise. I think Teera has the right mind. We'll appreciate whatever relaxation, whether that be massage or drinking, as he looks after.
You just see the hem of Mizya's robe as they walk through the door to where the bar is.
I think we'll enjoy it a lot more after some type of exercise.
Doc?
Doc is going to surreptitiously wander around and look in all the public areas for little one, and I'm sure nobody will notice him.
He's
So which
tiny.
way are you going to begin your search? Through the bath? Through
Yeah,
the...
I mean that seems like the central area.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I guess I could go to the garden first.
That's where Teera and the others are going. Everybody except for Mizya is going to that
Oh no,
sort
then I'll
of...
go into the baths, sure.
So this is where the double door is open to, and Doc, you're going to go there. Mizya has headed off this way to the bar, and the others are all heading out to the garden.
Yay.
Very well. As you all head in your different directions, we sort of follow for a moment as Teera, Vorn, and Togo walk through the door into the garden area. And as you walk out there, you can see that there's an iron fence overgrown with ivy that surrounds this small garden. There's a little bit of an earthen path that weaves between a scattering of trees and some flower bushes, a couple stone benches. You can see now that you're out here, there's some iron weights, wooden poles, heavy sacks, there's lengths of chain, and you see this red-haired, bronze-skinned elven woman. As you walk through the door, she immediately clocks you walking through the door, Teera, and she just kind of gives a wink as she sees you. Sorry, clock as in sees you, not clock as in decks you.
Oh,
She clocks you. Sorry,
I was confused.
I was reading your facial expression. I'm like, no, she clocks
you.
you.
Guys think what I thought? Okay. We were
Sorry,
glad about the only
she
one. No, it's okay.
immediately makes eye contact
Wow.
with you.
Okay.
And you see her kind of wink, and then she dips down and brings her fist up, and you hear an audible crack as she uppercuts the Goliath, who lifts off his feet and comes landing in a pile at your feet. And you see his eyes sort of roll back in his head, and that's where we're going to take our break.
No, I love it. I love it.
All right.
Exposition.
Things are off to a very restful day at the spa. We will be back in about 10 minutes. Stick around. We'll see you on the other side of the break. And we're back. Doc, you walk into this as described. There's the everything is polished stone. It's this massive I'll show you the map again for a moment. This massive bathhouse with steam sort of rolling across. It's the kind that has these steps that lead right down into the water all the way around it. On the far northern side are these tall pillars with images of Sune carved in. And the windows appear to be that the ones that are on the outside walls are frosted, and there's soft light coming in through. And just this whole room seems to have gentle music playing. And it looks like a very calming pool of water. What would you like to do, Doc?
Is anyone here?
Roll me a D20.
Okay.
And tell me what you got.
4.
I rolled a D8.
Five.
There is a woman who looks like she's probably around late 20s, from what you can tell. She has her blonde hair is sort of kind of up in a messy bun. and she's seated in the water along one of the edges. The mist kind of swirls around her shoulders, and she's in the water up to her shoulders and just has her arms kind of up. And you can see that she has a build very similar to Teera, in that she has a sort of athletic build. And as she's sitting there, she just kind of turns, acknowledges you walking through, and just kind of gives a nod like, hey, but doesn't really say anything.
So there's no ogre?
No, there's no ogre in here. Not that you
Okay.
can see.
Doc will wave. And then he will exit the room.
The only other exit is the way you came in. Give me, since you were looking around for an ogre, go ahead and give me a perception or investigation check.
I would like to make an investigation check. You can do it. Um, 24.
You, as you're looking around, you see, kind of peering through the mists of this pool, you see where these pillars are at the far end. The way they're carved, you can kind of see past them. They're not really windows, they're sort of open to the north, and you can just make out between them that there's another structure. It appears to be some sort of shrine of some kind, but its edifice is all crumbling stone. There's ivy growing all up the front of it, but you can't really see many other details through the mist and across the water through those.
Okay.
The other thing that you see with that check is you see as you're looking out this space towards this crumbling temple, you see sort of out of the corner of your eye, you see somebody. And when you turn
On the outside.
on the inside, like you
Okay.
see somebody else in the pool. But when you turn and look, you don't see them. There's nobody there.
Okay.
And then sort of just at your peripheral over here, you see somebody moving through the water, and when you look, there's nobody there.
Okay.
The only person that you see in here is this human woman.
Okay.
And no ogres.
Okay. I will leave the room.
Okay, you turn around and come back the way you came from, by the changing rooms. You have the door to the outside, the door to the gardens where the others went, and the door towards the lounge where Mizya went.
Lounge.
Okay. As Doc heads towards the lounge, we cut to the garden area where Togo, Vorn, and Teera are standing there as this red-haired elven woman walks over to the Goliath that she had just leveled. And she looks at all of you, and she kind of smiles, and then she holds out a hand down to the Goliath, who reaches out and takes it, and he stands up, and he just kind of goes, "You got me a good one that time. I promise you, before I leave here, I will knock you out." And then he seems to notice all of you and steps to the side. And she immediately steps forward and holds out her hand towards, just in general, towards the three of you.
I shake her hand.
She
In
says,
that cool, like, wrist to wrist, like, Xeno way.
yeah, she immediately gives you a firm, and you feel the corded muscles in her forearm. She says, well met.
Same to you. I haven't known many elves that were as eager for a fight.
I believe, just as this place is a temple to rest and relaxation, I let my sisters tend to the business and deal with things like food and the money. I believe the rest of the mind comes from the fists, from the core, from the chest. I mean, how much can you really know about yourself if you've never been in a fight?
I couldn't agree more. This is my good friend Vaughn and my other good friend Togo. We are all here to, in turn, partake.
Well, it is nice to meet all of you. I am Azursa. This is my sparring partner, Vaughn. He looks at all of you. And he kind of looks at you, Teera. Kind of looks you up and down. And he looks Vorn up and down. And he looks at you, Togo. And then he just says, the name's Vaughn Reed.
It's nice to meet you, Vaughn. Sorry about the outcome of your last bout.
Well, maybe surprisingly. It's not the first time I've been knocked on my rear end. The first time by an elf, but not my first time getting knocked down.
Well, so do you live here, or do you help train people, or what?
No, me. I'm a recent visitor to the place. Decided to take up the fine owners of this establishment on something that they helped me with, and figured I'd stick around for a few days before heading home. Sometimes it's nice to take a break and put aside your studies and put aside your responsibilities and just punch somebody as hard as you can.
I could not agree more. And I'm kind of like looking at Togo and Vorn with all of these statements. Teera is so in her element.
I think Togo is looking a little bit like he was looking very excited, and then when Vaughn just said the last part, you can see Togo looks a little confused. Just a little. He kind of furrows his brow a little bit. Well, don't you think that everything you do should be part of your adventure?
You say this to the Goliath?
Hmm.
Oh, indeed. Everything that I do is seeking out some new adventure. I've spent a lot of time enlightening my mind, nose buried in books. I see friends of mine heading out and going on adventures, and I'm not entirely sure if the adventuring life is for me. Not necessarily wanting to go out and slay dragons or anything like that, but this is providing me with a chance to test that out, as it were. Teera, what's your passive perception? And what's yours, Togo?
14 for me.
10.
Okay.
Ooh. Togo's just happy to be here.
Are you an adventurer?
I am, Togo says as he like puts his hands on his hips. I am a bludgeoning, what was the word? Burgeoning adventurer.
Ah, yes, burgeoning. Somebody who is just getting started. You've shown the makings of an adventurer, but you haven't really tested your mettle, so to speak.
Yeah, that.
Well, you've come to the right place. As Ursa here, we'll test your mettle. And she immediately goes, that's exactly what we're here for. There's no time like the present. We are going to see what you're made of. And she is going to 3-party split. I have to keep bouncing around the temple here to figure out where you all are. You are in the garden. If you're going to be an adventurer, the first thing you need is strong legs. We're going to start with something simple. Everybody's favorite. And Vaughn immediately goes, ha ha ha, I love leg day.
Leg day! Squats! Protein!
That is exactly what you are going to do. You are going to do
Amazing.
squats. It is going to be a series of athletics tests. Or excuse me, rather in this case, Constitution. I would like you all, as she takes a position at the head of you, she says, keep your weight over the heels of your feet and squat deep. And she just easily goes down into a squat all the way down until her butt almost touches the ground and then comes right back up. Again, go down as far as you can. I would like you each to make a Constitution check. I will roll for
Okay.
Born.
So, as before they do so, Togo is feeling super jazzed, and you can even see it in how he's smiling. He's so excited to prove himself, and he almost glows with this excitement, because he's going to use one of his channel divinities to be a peerless athlete.
Oh.
Okay.
Which
So-
means I have advantage on athletics. I can push, drag, lift, double what I can.
How long does
and
that last?
10 minutes.
Okay, because this first one is a Constitution check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is fine.
My con check was a 9.
Oh no.
Can I use a dice?
Is this a con check or a save?
It's a check.
Oh, whoops.
Okay.
That was my bad.
9.
Can I use a thing?
Yes.
A
Don't
dice?
ask, just do it.
One.
I'm
Are,
using
are
a
you
dice.
rolling with advantage in that? Wait, you already had advantage, didn't you?
No, not on this one. Not on.
Okay, so you're rolling with advantage. So
Mhm.
that's one tone.
15.
All right, I'm gonna bring us back into our main screen here. Vorn goes down for this squat and immediately comes back up and goes, ah.
Oh, cramp.
I need to drink more water. Vorn got an 8. Teera, with
Oh.
your 9, you also failed.
Ow. Hydration nation.
Togo, you do just fine. And Azursa just goes, maybe not so deep this time. All right, we're going to do another check as you do another set of squats.
Okay, come on. This can't be possibly any worse.
Oh my
Here we
gosh.
go. Hey.
I'm rolling
That one-
in the true spirit of Vorn with a power 2 for a total of 7. As Vorn goes,
So-
no, it's the other one.
I I got a 19 this time.
Oh yeah, you are doing fantastic. On that, and oh wait, you need to roll again because if you failed, you have disadvantage.
Oh.
Because you failed the first one, so you have disadvantage on the second one.
Well, the second one's a nat 1 now.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll for Vorn.
There is Vorn and Vaughn out here. That's pretty tough. God bless him.
Vorn, with disadvantage, still with that 7. The two of you are struggling. Like, and Togo, what'd you get on that second one? A 20-something?
I got a 23.
Togo, you're keeping right up with Azursa, squatting almost as deep as she is. You're not struggling at all, not breaking a sweat. One final con check at disadvantage for those of you that failed. Oh wait,
My
that's
little
a
turtle knees.
I was rolling a saving
Yeah.
throw,
Knees are phenomenal.
which would be even less of a bonus. Nope, that's the wrong number. I know how D&D Beyond works.
Okay.
Okay, so Vorn rolls, oh my gosh, a 6. Vorn, you just hear his knees popping, and he doesn't even come out of the squat. He just rolls back down onto his butt and just goes, ah!
This is also at disadvantage.
Yes.
I got an 11.
You also fail.
Ow. Ow.
Togo,
That's
you
seven.
are a natural athlete. I'll tell you what, the two of you look like you could use a little extra motivation. She walks over to a bench where there's like a towel and a leather bag that looks like a medieval gym bag. There's like a water skin there. And she reaches
That's the part
in.
where she offers us roids.
She reaches in and she pulls out a glass bottle that has like a leather wrap around it to protect it. And she sets it on the bench. And as she does so, it seems to glow with its own light. I'm going to give you a couple more chances. If you can complete these next 2 workouts, whoever does the best, I will give you this magic potion. And as we focus in on this glowing blue glass, we do a match dissolve to a
Nice.
champagne flute as a brilliant orange bubbly liquid is being poured in. And as the camera pulls back, we see at least 3 empty champagne flutes next to this, as we see Mizya sitting in the lounge at the bar, having mimosas. What else are you doing in here, Mizya? I'll set the
I'm not
scene.
at the bar.
Okay, so let me set the
No.
scene here for what you see in this space. This is the lounge has large cushion chairs all set around the space. Very calming music fills the air, along with the floral scent. A bar takes up one corner of the room, alongside shelves of very expensive wines and spirits, baskets of fresh fruit. 2 tables stand along one wall. Each are set up as manicure and pedicure stations, with nail files, clippers, bottles of nail varnish. And you see that there are a couple of an elven man and an elven woman that are wearing the linen robes of staff that are here. Where are you and what are you doing?
It's probably been a few minutes since I walked in. I'm not at the bar. I am fully reclined in one of these chairs. I have a full mud mask and cucumbers over my eyes, and I have a drink in each hand, which the staff is trying to work around as they give me manicure, and another staff member is giving me a pedicure, and a third staff member is feeding me an occasional grape. As I'm just laying back in this chair, just oh my.
Roll me a d20.
At 11.
Roll me a d8.
A 1.
Really?
Yeah.
There As you are enjoying yourself thoroughly in the chair next to you, you hear the silky voice of another individual that says in Undercommon, "Isn't this just the absolute best?" And you pick up a distinct Menzel-Baranzan accent.
I have not felt anything like this in, well, hundreds of years, if ever. It is quite divine.
Absolutely. I try to come up here to the surface and take advantage whenever I can. I'm a bit of a celebrity around these parts, so I'll try not to overshadow you.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry, the cucumbers over your eyes. You can't see me. I am Jarlaxle Benri. Perhaps you've heard of me. I'm gonna leave it up to you, knowing your backstory. Have you heard of or have you ever met Jarlaxle Benri, leader of the famous mercenary band Brigandarth?
I have. I rolled history on this and I got a 20, so I'm going to say that yes. I have. Yes. Jarlaxle, I have heard your name. I am Mizya Helvia. It is my pleasure to meet you in person.
I am going to roll a check. Mizya Helvia. The name has a certain familiarity to it, though I have not. If I have in fact heard it, it has been a very long time.
Well, if you have heard it, it would have been many, many, many years ago. It's not something I worry about any longer. Don't just trap yourself over it.
Oh, believe me, I will not. It is one of the reasons I come here to the Temple of the Restful Lily. I can be treated with a modicum of respect and still have a bit of anonymity here. I like to leave the politics behind.
Perhaps you should not go touting your fame or your name for that matter. But you do you. Speaking of, not related at all, really. I'm just going to change the subject. Have you had one of these? And I lift my left hand, and there's a tall glass with a red drink with this huge rasher of bacon and some vegetables sticking out the top of it. They tell me it's called a Bloody Mary.
I am so proud of you right now.
Not quite as good as my preferred mimosa, but it's quite tangy and tart, and it's got quite a punch from the spirits within. Have you had one?
I can't say that I have.
Oh, you must try one, and I will just kind of turn my head to one of the staff members. Get him one of these.
As you turn your head, you notice this man is not Jarlaxle Benri. This man he is a drow, and he has a clean-shaven head, and he wears a number of earrings in his ears, has a pierced nose, but he has the look and manner of somebody who has read a lot about Jarlaxle and is basically trying to pass himself off as Jarlaxle because you know Jarlaxle. You know who he is, and you know that this is... So I just imagine this moment when you were offering this drink and then you sort of remove the cucumber from your eyes and you start to turn to order the drink. You can continue if you wish, but you notice this man is not Jarlaxle.
I'm gonna order the drink. And I'm going to, I'm going to take the cucumbers out of my eyes, and I apologize. It's so much easier for me to speak when I can see you, Jarlaxle. Tell me about that time, and I'm going to start rambling off things that I know Jarlaxle is known for. But my goal is to like progressively get more and more obscure with things that I may have read about from decades or centuries ago.
Okay, I'm gonna do. we're gonna do similar to the squat challenge here. We're gonna do a lie detector thing. I would like you to make a whether you want to do it as a deception or a performance check. I would like you to make a roll.
I mean, it doesn't matter. So we're gonna do. We're gonna go with performance just for. It's gonna be a 12.
So the first story that you tell is a pretty common, one of the more folklore-y type tales, that you know maybe one or two more details that the general public doesn't know, and. He recites almost verbatim this legendary tale, including the factually inaccurate information, and seems to almost contradict you, not in a I know more than you, but without realizing that he is just he's contradicted himself. So you trip him up a bit on this first story. As you start to get telling a little more deep cuts, let's go ahead and do another check here.
I'm gonna roll this one at advantage.
Okay.
Nice, attaboy. Good call.
That is a 20.
This story is one that is more contained within Menzoberranzan and is more told and known amongst some of the top 10 families. I forget what they're called. The top 10 houses. There's a name for them, but and Bainry was one of the top houses. And this man seems to know this, but completely gets the names of. Not only does he get the names of some of the people involved in the story wrong, he mispronounces the school, the magic school in Menzoberranzan, Sorcerer. You notice he keeps calling it Sorcere. Nobody calls it Sorcere. And then one final check.
This one's just a 10.
On this last one, maybe he just got lucky. He matches beat for beat, but of the stories you've told, the bulk of them, you've sussed out that he's a bullshitter.
Well, Bart, this has been quite fun. I'm going to go back to the bar and get myself Mizya Helvia of Menzoberranzan some more drinks, and you just sit there and pretend to be who you think you are. Toodaloo.
Wow.
And I'm going to.
You head over to the bar, and that's about the time that Doc comes walking through the door into this lounge area. Doc, you see Mizya sort of bidding farewell to a drow gentleman that they were talking to as they are now heading over to the bar.
Doctor!
Hello.
can I interest you in a drink? I've had 3 already.
No, that sounds disgusting.
Oh, it's quite tasty, but I know you don't. You hate all things. Well, all things, it seems. So, tell you
That's
what.
a bit of a stretch, I would say.
Well, tell you what. You come on over here, join me on one of these stools, and I will drink for you.
Well, I came in looking for little one.
Oh, I haven't seen them on this side of the room. I haven't really looked on that side.
Yeah, you look like you're undertaking an exhaustive investigation
Yes,
of the alcohol.
well, I tested their mud mask, and I just kind of gesture to my face, which is like coated in this green goo. It's getting quite dry and sticky now. I think I might wash it off. But let me tell you, a pedicure is a life-altering experience. They rub your feet.
Oh. Okay.
You should try it.
Mizya, did you have them put any kind of colors on your toenails? Or
Yes, I have
fingernails?
sparkly silver nail paint, fingers and toes.
I just picture
nail paint.
It goes-
Some of us of the female persuasion call that nail polish, but nail paint is fine.
I picture Mizya sitting on this bar stool, and as you say this to Doc, we just see a shot of Mizya's feet with these sparkly pedicure,
oh my god! Adorable.
just sort of dangling on the stool here, and the sparkly silver polish on the nails as they take a drink.
Okay. Wow. This is great. Good. Wonderful. I'm gonna go ask
Fine, Doctor. I will join you on
No,
your
no,
search.
you stay comfortable. It's fine. I'll go look for little one on my own. You
No,
just relax.
you have made yourself clear that you are disappointed in me, and I can't have that. So
I mean,
I will
didn't say that I was disappointed.
accompany
in
you on your journey to find little one.
Yes. I didn't say that I was disappointed. In fact, I said the opposite. I said you should just stay there and I'll go on my own.
No. I can tell when you're mad at me, Doctor, and I just can't have that.
Doc is like looking around like, what is happening right now? Okay. If you want to come.
Yes, and
Sure.
I hop down. Let's look. I've covered this area. That guy over there thinks he's Jarl Axel, but he's not.
Good to know. So Doc will wander around and he'll see if he can see little one.
So, looking around this space, go ahead, you roll me a d20.
You can do it. Wow. 2 different rolls, 24 again.
Okay.
Wow.
Other than the Jarlaxle Banery Pretender and the bartender and the staff, there are nobody else here. So you do not see any signs of an ogre. There is a couple of doors down the hall that leads in the northeast, and there are a large set of double doors directly north of you.
Okay. I guess Doc will wait for Mizya and then he will talk to the bartender.
While Doc is talking, I am going down the bar and I'm finding all of the little, I'm assuming there's like finger foods and stuff.
Yeah, there's like some of these little tables and stuff. You find baskets of fresh fruit. There's fresh bread. There's little finger sandwiches, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I grab a whole bunch of the finger sandwiches and I just I take the front, like the hem of my robe, and I just gotta pull it up so that there's a little pouch. And I'm just like dumping snacks into that.
God, you're like a little old lady at a restaurant stealing Splenda. Phenomenal. I love it. I'm on board.
As Doc heads up to the bartender, we're going to cut back out to the garden.
Ow, my hamstrings!
And in the garden, Azirsa says, all right, it's clear that you're not quite properly hydrated or stretched out for squatting. Maybe you've got a little more strength in those arms.
Let's go.
I'm gonna do some tug of war.
Oh, yes.
But you are not going to compete against me. And she walks over to she grabs a big length of rope, and she walks over to this tree that's off to the side of where this bench is, and she takes the rope and she kind of flicks it, and it comes around the side. She grabs the other end and then she brings the rope over to the three of you and says, we're gonna go one at a time, and all you gotta do is move that tree over this line. And she turns and she motions to the tree, and she just kind of goes, and the tree's roots kind of go,
oh,
and the tree just goes and skitters over to where it's evenly spaced, and there's a piece of white linen tied around the middle of this rope. Who would like to go first?
I will. Togo seems predisposed. The wildlife of the garden is really, communing with the wildlife. What I'm going to do is, I'll go. I'm like, I'll go to redeem myself somehow.
This is going to be an athletics check. Strength athletics.
Okay. All right. I'm going to roll with advantage. I'm going to use a tome. Why not? I frickin' bought one this session. So here we go. I don't like to refer it like that, but I'm gonna. Here we go. Jesus, that's still not good. It's a 17.
Okay. You watch as Teera grabs this rope and you start pulling against the tree, and the tree starts not really digging in, like it's like rooting itself in. It keeps its roots above the surface, but you see several of the roots are kind of scrambling against the ground. And after a moment, you realize, Teera, you're pulling back and you're dragging this tree forward, and you pull that silk over, or that linen over the line.
Hey!
And Azirsa just goes,
hey,
you looked like more of a arm person.
Yeah, chest and back,
All right. You next. And she hands the rope to you, Togo.
Togo looks at the tree and kind of gives like a nod to the tree, as at first he takes out his lucky rabbit's foot and he holds it in his hand, and then he holds onto the rope and wraps and then begins to pull. He's going to have advantage. It's athletics.
Nice.
Yeah, this is
Peerless athlete.
What was your channel divinity called? Peerless athlete.
Peerless athlete.
All right.
Yep.
So strength athletics.
23.
The tree doesn't even pull you a fraction of an inch towards it. Togo grabs the rope, and basically you look like you're just pulling the tree to safety as you just hand over hand.
Wow.
All right, hey, you have more than made your point, Azursa says. Very well done. So far, that puts you in the lead.
While Togo is just easily like pulling it like it's freaking scarves and a magic trick, I'm kind of like looking at Vorn and like looking back at Togo, kind of like stunned at this display. Very impressed.
Togo looks to the tree. Thank you. That was you did great.
The tree makes this motion with one of its branches, like it can only be described as you hear this sort of creaking sound and just sort of and like a couple leaves just go flicked off to the side. Vorn walks over, doesn't look so confident, kind of grabs the rope, and Vorn starts pulling back, and you see Vorn also pull back and get the tree across the line. Not as impressive as Togo, but as soon as the tree is clearly across the line, Vorn just takes the rope and just goes, and you can see Teera, he's got this look where it's half like, yeah, but when he turns towards you, he's like, whew. Like,
yeah, and I kind of like,
worried there.
I hug him, and then like I like very, very quickly and surreptitiously kiss him on the cheek, and I'm like, I would like kind of step back and like pop him on his abs, and just like he's big strong guy, and I'm proud of him.
All right, this next one is going to be a little challenging. She walks over, unties the rope from the tree, and she heads over to the tree, and this time from behind the tree she pulls out some chain, and she wraps it a couple times around, and she one of the links has like a thing that, you know, so you can lock it in, a hook, that's the word I wanted.
A hook.
A hook, so you can kind of lock it in place. And then she goes to the other end and she goes, have you ever skipped chain? And she takes the other end of the chain and starts going, phew, phew, phew. And whoever's up first, I need some dexterity acrobatics checks.
Oh, God.
You're going to make 3 checks in rapid succession. So who's first?
I'll go first.
All right, give me a quick dex check. Acrobatics.
Dex acrobatics. Oh God, I dropped. I don't count it. Don't count it. Here we go. 11.
The chain comes around. You go to leap in the air, and you are knocked off balance. But you stay on your feet as the chain comes around. Make another check.
Okay. That's a 13 this time.
Again, you get clipped by the chain and are thrown off balance. One final check.
I got a better feeling. Here we go. Nat effing 20. I did it!
So the third time around, you successfully jump over without falling. And you are done.
Oh my God.
Vorn doesn't even miss a beat and just runs up to the spinning chain. And Vorn is going to make... Oh, I just realized I rolled the wrong numbers. When Vorn was doing his athletics check, it would have been a much more impressive number. So this time, he tries to jump over the chain, skipping chain with a... You see the chain just misses clipping his ankle, but he succeeds. The second time it comes around, he goes to jump, and he looks to you, Teera, like to say, see what I did? And you see what Vorn doesn't see. As the chain comes in and clips him right at the knees, you see Vorn do a complete flip, landing on his back, and he takes 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ooh.
Um,
Oh, Bob.
and Vaughn walks over. Happened to me the first time too, buddy, and helps Vaughn up. Togo, chain still spinning. 3 acrobatics checks.
Has it been less than 10 minutes, do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Because then he gets advantage on it as well. It's a 5.
Ooh.
Togo, whatever the case, whatever the skills you have as an athlete, they do not translate to jumping chain.
Oh.
You walk right up and you time it so poorly, you don't even jump. And the chain just comes around, clips you in the feet, and you hit the ground because you missed it by more than 5. And you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage. And Azursa walks over to you and just kind of looks down at you, and then she reaches out a hand and says, "Hey, that chain's not for you, but you did much better than your friends over here. I think you've earned this." And she walks over and grabs the potion and hands it to you. You may add a potion of hill giant strength to your inventory.
Hey.
Togo, he's grateful, but he's like looking at that chain. He's like, "Can I try it one more time?"
Oh.
Of course. She walks over and grabs the end of the chain. Whenever you're ready.
Knowing that she's lost, Teera is now cheering for Togo, is rooting Togo on.
You can see Teera, like he is like clutching on to his like rabbit's foot as he is looking like so intensely at this this rope.
Oh my god, I want Togo to succeed so bad.
That's a 16.
That's a success. Make another one.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's a 19.
Okay, one more.
Oh my god! You got it, Togo! One more!
It's a 10.
The third step, you do get clipped and thrown off balance, but you don't get knocked down.
Hey.
And Azursa just kind of looks at you and just goes, "I'm not giving you another potion, but well done."
No, that's all right. He like says as he like pulls something from his shell, and it's a little scroll. He looks very happy, and he unfurls it, and he, like even has like a little quill, and he shows it to Azursa. He's like, "Well, you see, I'm trying to prove to the Lady Timora and all of her followers that I can be a follower just as good as they can. So I'm doing different things and I think that if I do something great, then I have the person who gave me the challenge to sign it. Can you sign this for me?"
God.
It would be an honor. And Azursa will take your pen and will your scroll, and just with a very big bold A, and then just a signs their name.
She can see that this is the first ever signature, and it in very scribbly writing it says Togo's great deeds on it.
Oh my god.
You know, Togo, if you want to add to your deeds, my sisters and I might have a job for you and your friends. You've all proved yourselves to be very capable athletes. Think you might meet up to this challenge. Meet us in the lounge in a little bit.
Togo looks very excitedly over to Teera.
And she grabs her medieval gym bag and grabs her towel and she heads for the door. And as she heads for the door, she turns and looks back at each of you and just kind of goes, just that appreciative, yeah, okay. And as she heads out the door, the Goliath turns towards you and goes, you did really good, Teera.
Thank you, Vaughn.
And then Vaughn leans down towards you. You don't see it, do you?
No, what?
And then he reaches up towards his head and he taps the silver headband that's on his head and he goes, it's me. Little one.
Oh my god!
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
What? I love it. I love it. Oh. And oh. I love it.
I can
know
see
what's
the
going
gears
on.
are grinding as you're trying to figure stuff out.
I think I know what's going on here, and it's adorable. Oh my god.
All right, well, that was our 56th session of Scribes and Scrolls, the Temple of the Restful Lily. We will be back next week with another episode of a relaxing spa day, of course.
Awesome.
All right, we are going to get out of here in just a moment. We're going to send a raid over to No Man is playing some D&D, so we'll send some raid over that way. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you for the subscriptions and the bits and all that stuff, even if it did come from all of you sitting at the table with me. It still counts. It still counts. Thank you. If you are somebody that lurks in the chat with us and you don't like to participate in the chat, you just want to hang out and lurk and listen, thank you. We appreciate you all the same and hope you enjoy our game as well. And just thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. And of course, thank you to all of these amazing players who I'm just lucky I get to play with these wonderful folks every week. And sometime in the next couple weeks, we should be seeing Vorn actually back in that lower window. So stay tuned for that. So, as always, thank you to Gary, Cari, Dwight. And though he's not here with us, he's here with us in spirit, Ricky, without whom it would just be me talking to myself for a couple of hours. We're going to go ahead and end the stream the same way we end every stream. And you can say it with me if you want. Metadata.